So after a week off, a very needed week off from working out, from work, from running, from biking, just spent every day with my wife. Just recording my first video. I actually intended to do this video last week. As I said on my first post, I'm really doing this to document this process, what I hope to be a full body transformation over the course of probably closer to 2 years. I knew from the start I wouldn't make what I consider an ideal ending point by the end of this year, but I knew I could make significant progress, and I very much think I'm on the road to that. Just kind of wanted to check in and talk through kind of my experiences thus far. I've gone through several bouts of trying to lose weight, and a handful of times I've seen major success, 2013 being one. A number of times in 2009, 2010, I was able to go from like 300 to like 265, 260. 2013 Easter Sunday, I was 250 pounds. But I think since then, that's the last time I was able to kind of get under 290. I know by December of 2013, I was like 270, 280, and then I went over 290 by my wedding, which was June 2014, and I had not been under 290 pounds from 2014 until I got under last year in 2019. So 5 years, basically over 290 pounds. Didn't know what to think this year. I came into this lacking confidence because last year I did go from, I think I was 315 pounds on New Year's Day, and I got all the way down to 277 at one point. Although I keep saying 277, and I've said it in prior videos, that was the day after I did like a 20-mile run, and I think I only ate once that day because I was so exhausted. I didn't plan on weighing myself, but I just had some curiosity to see how dehydrated I was. The lowest I recorded in my net diary was 281, so I probably sweated off that 4 pounds of fluid. So let's say realistically, I got down to 281 last year, but on New Year's, from Christmas to New Year's of last year, went to Disney World with my family. We stayed in an Airbnb, really nice spot in Kissimmee, Florida. We ate out breakfast, lunch, and dinner. When I came back from that trip, I was 302 pounds. So I kind of felt like, man, a whole year of running, I ran a marathon, and my net changed from January 1st to January 1st is 13 pounds. So definitely came into this with real questions on my ability to do this. I started to think maybe my body just won't let me do it. Maybe I just don't have the discipline to do it. So it's nice to be where I am. I will say I don't feel great about where I am, but I need to stay off of YouTube because I see all these videos, oh, guy loses 40 pounds in 2 months, and it really makes me look at my own results in a different light. But as I'm talking through this and just thinking about how many times I've tried to get my weight down, I didn't think I'd be able to get under 290 again, just being brutally honest with you, going into 2019. That's just, I don't know, that's been a big barrier for me. I got down to 290 a bunch of times between 2014 and 2019, and as I've said several times, I got as high as 339 pounds in September of 2017, which was a very difficult year for me personally. I just could not seem to get under 290, and I finished the year under 290, and I just thought, I don't know, maybe I just was artificially dehydrated all those months. Just all these thoughts, all these insecurities. So to be sitting here today where I am, feel pretty good about it. You know, it's been a lot of work. I've never worked this hard at losing weight in my life. This has been the hardest I've ever worked. As I've said before, COVID is probably 80% negative, but the two areas where it's been a positive is how I've managed my finances, because we've really tightened up and really cleaned our balance sheet off as a family. and then just my weight being inside really has kept me in a place where I'm focused unlike I've ever been focused before. I have the ability to just work and work and work at it, and I've been taking advantage of that. I really want to come out of this period transformed, and that's I'm working towards, and that's why I've documented it. You see the lifting routines, you see the reading of the information, learning about nutrition. I think what I said in the video about the obesity code is very true. In the past, all I've done is condense my diet. Like, there will be days where I'd eat McDonald's last year and I'd say, well, I'm gonna take in 3,000 calories, this meal is 1,200, so I'll eat 1,800 the rest of the day and have a 1,200 calorie dinner with McDonald's. And now I better understand why I don't need to be eating those foods ever, or more than once or twice a week. And that's why I've stuck to kind of my cheat meals twice a week, and really eat very clean throughout the course of the week. I mean, just twice a week I have a meal. Doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if I eat an entire pizza, 2 cheeseburgers and large fry, whatever it is, I eat guilt-free, mostly guilt-free. And for the rest of the week, I'm able to maintain my diet 24 hours a day. And then the new entry into my diet routine is fasting, which is very new. I've only done it 4 times. I did not do it this past week, and that was the plan. But I just continued to learning about nutrition, and that's something that needs to be a lifelong thing. That's not a 1-year thing. I'm not going to become an expert on nutrition in a year. So I've committed to, I do 1 to 2 books a month on Audible, and I've committed to at least 1 book per quarter being on nutrition. And this quarter is actually going to be 2, because I did the obesity code in June, and I'm doing this fasting book in August and September. So, just really doubling down on learning about nutrition. My next book is going to be on mindfulness, and I also ordered a book on Malcolm X's autobiography read by Lawrence Fishburne, which I think I get next week. I pre-ordered it. So I'm not going to overdo it and burn myself out, but Q4 I'll find a book. Hopefully it's something I find as enlightening as the obesity code, but I'll keep searching and I'll keep at it, and that's the important thing. Just kind of thoughts as I sit here the day before Labor Day. I'm definitely encouraged, but somewhat disappointed, just to be brutally honest, because with all the effort I would have put in, I would have thought I'd be significantly lower, especially with my diet, especially the last, I'd say 3 months since I went on the meal prep program, or since I started ordering meals. All my foods are organic, very lean. They're not bathed in sauces. They're not bathed in sugar. Just pretty much organic whole foods, just lean meats and vegetables for the most part. And I've been on that for a few months, and I definitely would have thought I'd be significantly lower. But I do keep coming back to the fact that my last weigh-in a week ago, I was 265 pounds, and I was 302 pounds on January 5th. So I'm coming up on 40 pounds, which is a very significant number. I'll say earlier today, I watched the first post that I ever did, and I was 292 pounds. And I could see in my face, I could just see my cheeks puffed out a lot more. I could see it in my neck and my chin. There's a very visible difference in my weight, and I think I've definitely made significant progress. I'm very scared about, can I really get down another 40 pounds from where I am now? Because as you've seen, the weight loss is really slowing down. My last week, I was on it. I did lots of running, lifting. I stayed on my diet. I fasted 3 times for 24 hours in an 8-day period between weigh-ins. And I lost 1 pound. So those kinds of things are very nerve-wracking for me. They question, how low can I actually get? Then it's like I kind of get teetering in a bunch of different directions. I start watching videos on weight loss on YouTube, and people claiming to lose 50, 60 pounds in 2 months, and I watch what they do, and I don't feel like these people have done anything different than I have done. In a lot of cases, I don't think I've seen people say, you know, they went to the gym 6 days a week for an hour. I work out a hell of a lot more than that. So those types of things, you know, I really don't know how to process where my situation is. I think reading the obesity code and just understanding my blood chemistry and understanding the concept of insulin resistance, by no means am I claiming to be an expert. I've read one book on this subject matter. And so I think I have a better understanding of the concept that my body does not want to change, and it's going to fight me to get back up to that 300 to 320 range that I've pretty much spent the overwhelming majority of the last 15 years. But you know, my mindset is really focused on 225 and getting under 225, and that number specifically comes from the BMI chart for someone 6'7". When I was in the best shape of my life, I was about 225 in this same height, and my body fat was 7.8%. So I don't know how realistic that is, but that's what I'm going to kind of push towards as I get towards the end of 2021. When I really start to ramp up the running again next year, I'm going to run 1 marathon, possibly 2, but I've got a bunch of other races planned. Basically all the races that I had planned for this year, I'm going to run next year. But encouraged, nervous about the path ahead. Just as I said, it's getting very difficult to move the needle on the scale. And when I go through a week and I lift a bunch of times, 3-4 times for an hour, you know, I run multiple times, I bike, I do a long run on Saturday, a long ride on Sunday, and stay on my diet, and I'm fasting, and I'm not seeing, you know, giant gains or losses. That's a scary place to be in, because I feel like I've got so far to go, and I keep thinking about the end result, and I keep thinking about getting off this last 40. And I think what I really need to do is what I've said over and over, and I have to constantly reground myself and just stay focused on consistency and stay focused on the process more than anything. Stop worrying about the scale. Stop worrying about the end result. Stop being so focused, because all that does is lead me to a place where I feel like it's not accomplishable, and it starts to lead to inconsistency in my working out. And that's the battle I fight almost daily. I would say when I get into a week and I start my week off with my run on Tuesday morning and I lift on Tuesday afternoon, I start to feel like I'm in a groove, and usually for the rest of the week, if I start off my week correctly, the rest of the week will go smoothly. And that's usually the constant fight coming out of the weekend, just making sure I get started, and taping these workouts helps so much, whether people watch them or not, because I always watch them multiple times, and it really encourages me to see myself working out, to watch these videos, even though I'm doing the same things over and over. It keeps me invested. I don't think I would have done nearly as much as I've done without having the eyeballs on me, and without having the eyeballs on myself. I know I wouldn't have. I know I wouldn't have been this consistent. I know I wouldn't have focused. I would not have been so consistent with weighing myself and holding myself accountable without knowing that, you know, the 5-6 people who typically watch my stuff are watching every week. So that's helped out immensely, and I'm going to continue to do that. But I will say, you know, I'm really starting to think about year end. It's starting to come into focus. There's 4 months left. You know, we just started the 9th month of the year, finished 8, and I'm at 265. I watched my first video, and I said, it was on Super Bowl Sunday. I said that my goal was to get under 240. That's not realistic. I'm not going to lose 25 pounds in 4 months, but I am going to start to, I'm going to kind of step aside, and I'm going to say this in a nuanced way. I'm really going to focus on getting under 250, but I will not define success for the year by getting under 250. I will define success by maintaining my weight through the end of the year. Being in a position where I can take this weight down and not have a repeat of last year. If I can finish this year, let's say, even if I'm just 262, I will consider this year a success. If I finish the year Christmas Eve at 262, that's 40 pounds for the year. That's just 3 more pounds. That's 3/4 of a pound a month for the next 4 months. I will consider this a success. I'm going to watch this video on Christmas Eve, and I'm going to weigh myself on Christmas Eve. And I'm saying it now. Anything under 262, 40 pounds for the year is a success. I'm going to push myself to get under 250. I think just looking at the recent trend, it's been very difficult to get down the road I've gone. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm not going to do anything insane. I'm just going to maintain consistency. I'm going to continue to learn, and I'm going to see where I can make improvements in my diet, particularly around my snacks. But I am going to push to get to 249.9, but that is not the bar of success. That's an A+. I'll consider 262 a B+. And I'll be very accepting of not having a repeat of last year, where around this time, I think it was late September, early October, it was leading up to the Baltimore Marathon when the runs really started to get long, where I got down to 281, and like I said, I had that one Sunday where I weighed myself the day after a very long run and I was 277, but I knew I was dehydrated, and I had weighed myself on Friday. I've always weighed myself on Friday, and I think I was like 282, 283, something like that. So I knew that was an artificially low number, and the following Friday I was probably back up to 281, 282. So just the fact that I had a collapse last year after I twisted my ankle, and my last couple of races I had to scrap because I couldn't run, and I just let my diet go all this shit. I'm going to consider holding 40 pounds off for the year and finishing the year down a net of 40 pounds versus 2019 when I was down a net of 13 pounds. I'm going to consider that a resounding success. So let me just go on record of saying that. I know 240 pounds isn't realistic unless I do some stuff that I think could be damaging to the body and is just unsustainable. And reading the obesity code, doing things like that do not lead to sustained weight loss. I need to be able to sustain this. So I'm not going to do anything crazy like try to eat once a week and try to run 2 hours a day. I'm just not going to do that crazy shit. I'm going to focus on running 4 times a week. I'm going to bike 3 times a week, and I'm going to lift 4 times a week. And I'm really going to double down on my diet. All of this while I'm still in the middle of budget season. The next 2 months are going to be hell for me at work. So I'm going to do this all while trying to work probably 55 hour week. Being a husband, I spend a half hour to an hour with my daughter every weekday, and probably a good 2 to 3 hours every weekend day. Like, there's a lot of shit that's going to be going on. Let me stop cursing on my channel. There'll be a lot going on in my life while I'm trying to maintain this. When I finish the budget towards the end of October, I think I will ratchet it up a bit and really try to push those last 2 months to get those last pounds off. But I will not define success by being under 250. I'm saying that on the record because I don't want to come out of this year feeling like I failed if I finish with 40 pounds off for the year. So let's make sure we keep the gains. Let's make sure we finish the year strong and not lose focus like I did last year. And let's finish the year on a positive note. So, that's where I stand. Mixed feelings, encouraged by the results thus far, but scared and kind of nervous about how much further can I go. I think that's the best way I could frame this. So today's Saturday, going to spend the rest of the evening with my wife. My daughter's at grandma's house tonight. Back to work on Tuesday. I'm gonna start working out either Monday or Tuesday. I haven't decided yet. I know there's a bunch of chores I've been holding off on. But my next video will be coming soon in regards to my next workout, and I'm just gonna get back to it. So for Reed Fitness, checking in about 8 months into a 12-month journey through 2020, and I'll be checking in soon. Signing off.